What is the difference between black mamba and green mamba? Have you ever looked at a snake and thought, okay, which one of those is going to kill me faster? Or maybe you have wondered, if the black mamba and the green mamba are both mambas, are they basically the same animal with a different paint job? Are they equally deadly? Do they even live in the same places? And here's a good one. Did you know the black mamba is not actually black? Both the black mamba and the green mamba belong to the same snake family, a group called Dendroaspis. They are African snakes, they are venomous, and they are both respected and feared by everyone who knows anything about them. But beyond sharing a last name, these two snakes are actually quite different animals. They look different, they live in different places, they hunt differently, and they even have different personalities, if you can call it that. For a long time, scientists actually thought the black mamba and the green mamba were the same species. Some people believe the mambas started green and turned dark as they got older. Others thought males were black and females were green. It sounds ridiculous now, but honestly, it is kind of understandable given how little was known at the time. It was not until 1946 that researchers officially confirmed they are two completely separate species. So yes, science took a while on that one. Now, when people say green mamba, they might actually be referring to one of three species. There is the eastern green mamba, the western green mamba, and Jameson's mamba. For today, we are going to focus mainly on comparing the black mamba to the eastern green mamba. Those two are the most commonly discussed and the most closely related. Let's go. Appearance. Who looks like what? Let's start with the most obvious question. What do these snakes actually look like? First, the black mamba. Despite the name, the snake is almost never black. Not even close. Its body is usually gray, olive, brown, or even a dark khaki color. The underside is a pale cream or white. So where does the black come from? The inside of its mouth. When a black mamba feels threatened, it opens its mouth wide in a warning display, and inside is a dark, inky blue-black color. That is where the name comes from. It is basically named after its teeth's waiting room. The black mamba also has a very distinctive head shape. It is long, narrow, and a little coffin-shaped, as if the snake needed to look more threatening. It has a slightly pronounced brow ridge that gives it this intense, focused look, like it is always annoyed about something. Now the green mamba, this one actually looks like its name suggests. The eastern green mamba is a bright, vivid green on its back, and its underside is a lighter yellowish green. If you look closely at the individual scales, each one fades from a lighter center to a darker edge, and together they create that beautiful, rich green color. Interestingly, baby green mambas are born a blue-green color and develop their full bright green as they mature. The green mamba has a narrow, elegant head. In fact, the scientific name, Augusticeps, literally means narrow head. It's a slender snake with a graceful build, and its green color blends into tree leaves almost perfectly. It is basically wearing camouflage at all times. Who is bigger? This is not a close competition. The black mamba wins by a wide margin. The black mamba is Africa's longest venomous snake. Adults typically measure between 6 and 10 feet. Some exceptional individuals have been recorded at over 13 feet. That is a very long snake. For reference, the average car is about 14.7 feet long. So yes, we are talking nearly car-length snake. They usually weigh up to around 4.4 pounds, so despite the size, they are not heavy animals. They are built lean and fast. The eastern green mamba is noticeably smaller. Females can reach up to about 5.9 to 6.6 feet, while males are usually a bit shorter. Some sources report females going up to 9.2 feet in very large specimens, but on average, you are looking at a snake that is significantly shorter and slimmer than a black mamba. It is lighter in build too, which makes it perfectly suited for life in the trees. Where do they live? Here is where things get really interesting, because these two snakes live in quite different environments, even though both are found in Africa. The black mamba lives across central, eastern, and southern parts of sub-Saharan Africa. It prefers dry, open environments, savannas, rocky hillsides, scrubland, and light woodland. It likes warm temperatures and tends to stay at lower elevations. One of the most important things to know about the black mamba's habitat is that it is primarily a ground dweller. It spends most of its time on the ground, slithering through grass, hunting in rock crevices, and resting in termite mounds or hollow logs. It does climb trees, and it does it well, but the ground is its main territory. The green mamba, on the other hand, lives in a very different kind of place. The eastern green mamba is found along the coastal regions of eastern and southern Africa, from the Eastern Cape in South Africa up through Mozambique, Tanzania, and into Kenya. And critically, it loves trees. This snake spends almost its entire life in the canopy of tropical coastal forests. It is perfectly built for it. Slim body, grippy scales, incredible balance. The green mamba sticks to wet, dense forests and coastal lowlands. You will not find it in dry savannas or open grasslands. In South Africa, it is usually found within just a few kilometers of the coastline. Personality check. If snakes had personalities, these two would be pretty different characters. The black mamba has a reputation as one of the most aggressive snakes in the world. And while that reputation is a bit exaggerated, it is not completely undeserved. The black mamba is described as nervous and alert. When it feels cornered or threatened, it does not mess around. It rears up the front section of its body, sometimes up to a third of its length, spreads a small hood, opens that famous black mouth wide, and hisses loudly. It is an extremely clear warning, and if you ignore that warning, it will strike repeatedly. The black mamba can deliver multiple bites in a single attack. The green mamba is a much calmer animal. It is described as shy and elusive. When it encounters a human or a threat, its instinct is to move away and hide, not to stand its ground. It very rarely opens its mouth in a threat display. It relies on its green camouflage to stay hidden, and most of the time it succeeds so well that people walk right past green mambas without ever knowing they were there. How dangerous are they? Both snakes are highly venomous. This is not a competition where one is dangerous and the other is not. They are both capable of killing a human if a bite goes untreated. But there are differences in severity and composition. The black mamba's venom is considered the more dangerous of the two. It contains a powerful mix of neurotoxins and cardiotoxins. Neurotoxins attack the nervous system, while cardiotoxins affect the heart. Symptoms after a bite can include dizziness, extreme fatigue, vision problems, difficulty breathing, foaming at the mouth, and paralysis. Without treatment, death from respiratory or cardiac failure can occur. The black mamba is also known for delivering large amounts of venom in a single bite, and it can bite multiple times in one encounter. It has front fangs that are up to 2.6 inches long. The green mamba's venom is also composed of neurotoxins and cardiotoxins, and it is absolutely capable of killing a person. However, the venom is considered somewhat less potent than the black mamba's on a volume-for-volume basis, and crucially, green mamba bites are much rarer because the snake rarely encounters humans and tends to flee rather than fight. Venom from a green mamba can start spreading through the body within the first 15 minutes after a bite. For both snakes, anti-venom exists and works. The key in any snake bite scenario is to get to a hospital as fast as possible, minimize movement, apply a pressure bandage to the bite site, and do not try to suck the venom out or cut the wound. That only works in movies. The real treatment is antivenom, administered by medical professionals. The mistakes people make. Here is something worth knowing. Green mambas are often mistaken for other snakes, and other harmless green snakes are sometimes mistaken for green mambas. The most common mix-up is with the boomslang, another green African snake that is also venomous. There are also several harmless green snakes in the genus Phylothamnus that look similar from a distance. The easiest way to tell them apart comes down to head shape and eye size. The green mamba has a narrow, elongated head and relatively small eyes. The boomslang has very large, distinctive eyes. The harmless green snakes tend to be smaller and more slender overall, but unless you really know what you are doing, the safest approach with any snake you cannot immediately identify is to back away slowly and give it space. No snake wants to bite you. It is always a last resort for them. The black mamba, despite not being black, is less likely to be confused with other snakes because of its size and its coffin-shaped head. When you see a 2.5-meter grayish snake with a narrow head rearing up in front of you, there is probably not a lot of ambiguity about what you are dealing with. Let's put it all together. The black mamba is larger, faster, and more aggressive. It lives on the ground in open savannas and rocky terrain across central, eastern, and southern Africa. It is the longest venomous snake in Africa, with a coffin-shaped head and a body that is gray or brown, not black. Its name comes from the inside of its mouth. The green mamba is smaller, more docile, and spends its life in the trees of tropical coastal forests along eastern Africa. It is vivid green, narrow-headed, and relies on camouflage and a preference for fleeing to stay out of trouble. It is shy, elusive, and far less likely to be encountered than its ground-dwelling cousin. Both are venomous, both deserve respect, neither deserves to be killed on sight. Both species play a real role in their ecosystems by controlling rodent and bird populations. The fear of snakes, especially in Africa, often leads to these animals being killed unnecessarily, which is both a shame and a threat to local biodiversity. These two snakes share a family name and share a continent, but they have carved out completely different lives for themselves. One rules the ground, fast and bold. The other rules the canopy, quiet and invisible. Both of them have been doing just fine for millions of years. The next time someone brings up mambas and says they are all the same, you can tell them just how different two snakes with the same last name can be. The black mamba and the green mamba are neighbors, not twins. And knowing the difference might just matter one day, hopefully not from personal experience.